Hi everyone, this is Xander. Do you want Wesley Snipes to be back in the new Blade movie? A lot of fans are pushing to cancel the movie with Mahershala Ali, but what if we can combine both? In this new type of video, I will share with you a possible scenario featuring both actors. It took me a few weeks to gather all informations about the Blade lore. I watched again the trilogy, the video will come very soon, and I listed everything we liked and we disliked. I made sure that there is a logical continuity after the third Blade and the events of the MCU. Particularly the post-in credit of the Eternals. And of course I included some elements that will make crazy the fans in theaters, making us scream in excitement once again. Are you ready? Here's my scenario of the Daywalker. Everything starts like the very first Blade movie, in a nightclub with vampires having fun. We're trying to revisit this iconic scene, but making it even more epic. But this time, it's not Blade who appears among the vampires, but Abigail. Yes, Jessica Biel is back. Her fighting style this time is closer to Wesley Snipes. And just for fun, let's imagine Guillermo del Toro directing this movie. We see that she's being helped by someone, but we won't see his face until the end of the scene, when the vampires gain the upper hand and knock him down. Since the film is R-rated, our vampires are much more violent than before. I even think they can be an evolved version of the mutant vampires from Blade 2. Let's back to the guy on the floor. The unknown ally is nearly torn apart, and Abigail, trying to come to his rescue, is also overwhelmed by the enemy. She's in a very tough situation, disarmed and at the mercy of the enemy, when suddenly a growl louder than the others is heard. Ali's blade enters the scene and takes down the vampires one by one with an innovative and impressive fighting style. The introduction scene is epic. Ali approaches Abigail. She looks at him, exhausted, and asks, "Who are you?" To which he responds, "I'm Vengeance. I'm Blade." They exchange a glance, then she adds, "You're not him." Just as he is about to reply, the mysterious ally coughs and groans in a terrible pain. He's dying on the floor somewhere. So Abigail rushes to him. Hannibal! Yeah, first surprise of the fans in the theater. Ryan Reynolds briefly reprises his role for a gory and funny scene. Typical of his style, right? For a final farewell. I wrote this to make a nice continuity tribute between Blade Trinity and Deadpool and Wolverine. Ryan Reynolds is transforming into a vampire and, of course, he can't help but laugh about it, insisting that Abigail, in tears, eliminate him before it's too late. Ali's blade watches the scene without approaching, but we see that he discreetly aims his weapon at Hannibal, just in case Abigail doesn't do what needs to be done. Sobbing, she prepares herself to eliminate Hannibal, but he suddenly stops her. Wait! I would like you to take my favorite card holder. Yeah, it's time to introduce our partner, without whom this video will not be possible. The new EKSTER card holder is an improved version of the previous one. I had the chance to resave it and test it, and it came just in time because it allowed me to replace my aging Deadpool card holder. The new EKSTER card holder can hold more cards than its predecessor, and its new rounded edge design is more ergonomic and thus less bothersome in pockets. The sturdy construction made from recycled aluminium and the metal ejector button, replacing the old plastic one, also inspire much more confidence. The result is far more elegant and sophisticated. And the most impressive thing is that this card holder has an entire ecosystem of adaptable add-ons, like this incredibly thin finder card that allows you to find your card holder anywhere via your iPhone or Apple device. Each charge lasts up to 6 months and a magnetic charging cable is included. If you're convinced by this new EKSTER card holder too and its incredible finder card, now that they are in a summer sale, they have 30% off, but with the code XanderMotion, you can get your product up to 35% off. Isn't that amazing? Honestly, you won't regret it. This card holder is so classy. So Hannibal is finally giving his card holder to Abigail and says goodbye. She eliminates him and turns to Blade, furious. What do you want? You've noticed the vampires have been more aggressive since the blip. The mention of the blip ties Blade stories into the heart of the MCU, right? Abigail is slowly going away and responds, "You're not telling me anything new, and no matter who you think you are, I advise you to keep your distance before one of them bites you and turns you into a bloodsucker." He grabs her arm to stop her from leaving. She stops. He smiles to reveal his vampire's fangs. She steps back, frightened, and aims her weapon at him. Instead of defending himself, he calmly says, "I was looking for you. I need your help. She asks why, and he tells her that he's searching for the ebony sword. To refresh your memory, this is the sword that Whitman possesses. Okay, from there we are going to speed up a little bit the story. The Blade played by Ali introduces himself to Abigail as Eric Brooks, the Blade we knew. She has a hard time understanding because she doesn't recognize him. The audience too, but we eventually come to accept it, thinking it's a narrative convenience to change actors without changing the main storyline. Eventually, he convinces her to help him find the ebony sword, because the vampire Varnae, the originator, is it a true word? ChatGPT helped me to translate in English, you know? So anyway, Varnae, the originator of the new mutant vampire lineage, is searching for it. It has mystical powers that can open doors to the dark world and thus revive all the vampires that previously existed. Abigail sees this as a way to bring Hannibal back to life, so she agrees to help Ali. In their quest, during the first act of the movie, they meet two characters connected to the mystical arts to obtain information about the sword. First, they meet Wong, the Sorcerer Supreme. He reveals to us that the sorcerers have always known about the existence of vampires and have helped hide them from human eyes through mystical spells to prevent chaos on Earth. Yeah, and Blade is quite angry with Wong, because if the sorcerers hadn't hidden their existence, he could have gotten help much earlier to eliminate the vampires, and many people would still be alive, like Whistler, Abigail's father. She's actually surprised that this guy, this Eric Brooks, knows him and is emotionally attached to him. So we start to think more and more that he is the real Blade, the real Eric Brooks. Wong eventually tells them that there is probably one person who knows where the ebony sword is, and he sends them to meet another character that will make the entire theater jump, Nicolas Cage, Ghost Rider. And of course we want to see him fight Blade before finally talking and getting the information we were looking for. Now it's your time to help me. Why Ghost Rider knows where is the ebony sword? We need to justify this fan service, right? So write in a comment your idea for this part of the scenario. Let's go back to the story. In the meantime, to recall the intimate scenes from the previous Blade films, where we saw him struggle with his anti-vampire serum, we see Ali struggle with his own demons. He has visions when he sleeps. We see him relive the events of Eric Brooks' life. The flashes become more and more frequent as the scenes progress. We gradually understand that he was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent and was beaten by Varnoy before being offered to survive as a human in exchange for retrieving the ebony sword. Who could have made this pact with him? You see where I'm going to? Now let's go to the second act of the movie. Ali and Abigail eventually find Whitman and the ebony sword. Ali promises Whitman to teach him how to master the sword's power if he trusts him. After a few scenes where the three characters finally build trust with each other, the true enemy makes his appearance. You guessed it! My goal is to make the audience scream once more in the theater by giving them what they've always demanded. I have the honor to introduce you, Mephisto! The characters engage in an epic battle where it's revealed that Mephisto is also manipulating Varnae. Yeah, because he is also in the fight, right? And this Varnae grievously wounds Abigail. Mephisto retrieves the sword and the enemies leave victorious. Whitman and Ali approach dying Abigail. Ali, now freed from Mephisto's spell, reveals his true identity and expresses his remorse to Abigail. With her last breath, she tells him, "You will never be Blade." A statement that will haunt him during the rest of the movie. But it's precisely this phrase that triggers something in Whitman. After Abigail's tragic death, Whitman suggests to Ali, what if we found the real Blade to help us? This is when the movie theater audience goes wild once again! Whitman and Ali return to Wong to ask for help, and he reveals to them where our original Blade, played by Wesley Snipes, is hiding. At that point it will be up to Marvel to decide if we use the Blade we saw in The Void of Deadpool and Wolverine, or if we portray him as a recluse far from everyone, no longer hunting vampires and living as a hermit in Camouflage. In any case, during the third act of the movie, Whitman and Ali find the real Blade and, not without difficulty, manage to convince him to come back one last time to finish what he started, eradicating the existence of vampires. We will have an emotional and meta scene where Ali confesses confesses to Snipes that he has long believed himself to be Blade due to Mephisto's manipulations. He also shares what Abigail said to him as she died: "You will never be Blade." Snipes makes him understand that he doesn't need to be someone else, but just needs to follow his gut, which means killing vampires. Whitman, Ali, and Snipes head to Mephisto's lair, where he has begun an incantation using the Ebony Sword to unleash the forces of darkness on Earth. In the final showdown, Whitman will fight vampires and demons, Ali will face Varnae, the vampire who bite him, to have his revenge, while Snipes takes on Mephisto directly, deciding that he is the best suited to face and resist his psychological manipulation. In an epic and heroic battle, Ali eliminates Varnae and comes to help Snipes. Ali is about to retrieve the Ebony Sword to finish their enemy, but Snipes realizes that he won't survive its enchantment. He then decides to sacrifice himself to save Ali. In a final effort, Snipes grabs the Ebony Sword, kills Mephisto, and seals the Gate of Darkness, an act that drains all of his life force, reminiscent of Tony Stark's sacrifice to save humanity. He has sacrificed himself for their survival and finally achieved what he always wanted. He has eradicated the vampires from Earth, and his character development concludes beautifully. A better end after Blade Trinity, right? Dying as a hero, he speaks his final words to Ali, passing his legacy. He makes it clear that he respects him and that he has the guts to call himself Blade, finally granting Ali redemption and freeing him from his demons. Snipes' last words echo Abigail's as she died. He tells Ali, "You are the new Blade." Blade dies, long live Blade. The audience is in tears. Whitman and Ali stand up, eyes set on new adventures that may lie ahead. And in the post-credits scene, Doctor Strange comes to meet them to recruit them into the Midnight Suns to face an even more powerful enemy. The crowd goes wild. Snipes has received the ending he deserved. Marvel makes $1 billion. The MCU is still alive, and everyone is happy. Don't forget to support me by joining this link, where you can order the card holder of your dreams and get 35% off with the code XanderMotion. And if you liked my story of the Daywalker, or you have any suggestions, share them with me in the comments. And if you enjoyed this new video type, subscribe and I bring you another scenario of my creation, because I have a lot of ideas for the Doctor Doom of Robert Downey Jr. See you next mission!